Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to Alta Radio on WECU 107.5 FM and 1570 AM. And welcome to another empowering broadcast with Get Life Educational Empowerment. I am your host, Sherida Suggs, principal, educational coach, motivational speaker, and passionate advocate for all encompassing students, families, and communities in education. I am so excited that you have chosen to spend this time with us as we continue our journey of growth, collaboration, and empowerment. In our previous broadcast, we discussed the importance of shifting from March madness to March momentum by intentionally setting a positive tone for the month of March. March is often a pivotal time in education. When education expectations rise, testing is approaching, and fatigue can begin to set in for educators, students, and families alike. Rather than allowing the stress of the season to take over, the focus was on starting the month with purpose and March motivation. A strong beginning helps to stabilize the adults who support students every day because children often mirror the emotional tone that is set by the adults around them. When educators, parents, and community members feel encouraged and valued, they are better able to support student success. Ultimately, the message was clear. Momentum is intentional. When we begin the month with encouragement, clarity, and purpose, we create the conditions for success in our schools, homes, and communities. With all of these pressures, tensions can rise and conflicts can occur. Misunderstandings do happen. Communication can break down, and sometimes frustration replaces collaboration. So today we're shifting the focus. Today we are pivoting the process. Today's conversation is about moving from March madness to March mediation, pivoting to meaningfulness, mindfulness, and maturity when all seems mad. The inspiration for this episode comes from my long-time guiding principle: get life, get it together, live in full expectancy. This motto, more than just words, is a way of navigating life's curveballs. In education, just as in life, challenges arise. Obstacles, stresses, moments when it feels easy to dwell on what went wrong. But we don't have to stay mad. We don't have to stay frustrated. We don't have to stay stuck. Instead, we get it together by shifting our focus, empowering ourselves and solutions within ourselves, and moving forward to what works better and best practices in education. Romans 8:37 reminds us, yet in all things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. Even in the middle of chaos, we can rise above, address challenges intentionally, and embrace growth. To live in full expectancy means to operate in faith, hope, and clarity. It's about standing on God's promises and believing that even in the messiness of March, of any month for that matter, we can expect progress, positivity, and abundance. And why does March have to be mad or messy? Can't we indulge the narrative to merciful March or March miraculous? John 10:10 tells us that the thief cometh not, but for to steal, kill, and to destroy. But I am come that they might have a life and that they might have it more abundantly. So I encourage you to get life. Educators, students, and community leaders, you can transform moments of madness into meaningful experiences practicing mindfulness intentionally, and solution focused thinking. In short, this show is about choosing empowerment over frustration, meaningfulness over madness, taking the prerequisite man made negative energy of March and directing it toward growth, connection, and impact. Instead of reacting to frustration, we learn how to pause, listen, and work towards solutions that strengthen our school communities. You see, conflict is not unusual in schools, homes, or communities. In fact, when handled the right way, conflict can actually become an opportunity for understanding and growth. So, today, we're going to walk and talk about how we can pivot from March madness into three powerful approaches: March mediation, March mindfulness, and March mending. Three simple ideas that can transform conflict into connection. Let's begin with our first focus: from March madness to March mediation. When we hear the words conflict, many people immediately think of confrontation, arguments, division. But conflict itself is not always the problem. The real challenge is how we respond to the conflict. In schools, conflicts can happen in many ways: between co-workers who have different perspectives, between families and schools who may misunderstand expectations, between students who are still learning how to communicate and solve problems. Mediation is about shifting our mindset from confrontation to conversation. Instead of asking who is right, we begin asking, how can we understand each other? Mediation invites us to slow down, listen carefully, and create space for dialogue. When schools embrace mediation, several things begin to happen. People feel heard, misunderstandings become clearer, and solutions become possibilities. For educators, mediation might look like taking time to listen to a colleague's perspective before responding. For families, mediation may look like approaching the school with questions rather than accusations and assumptions. For community members, it may mean supporting schools in ways that promote collaboration instead of conflict. One of the most powerful things mediation teaches us is this: disagreement does not have to mean division. When we choose conversation over confrontation, we begin building bridges instead of walls. And in schools, especially, that truly matters because our students are always watching how adults interact. They learn how to handle disagreements by observing the way we handle disagreements. And let me assure you, they are watching, they are learning, and they are copying exactly what they see. So, parents, if you come to school fussing and yelling at the teachers and principals, please don't be surprised if your student is misbehaving and feeling as if they don't have to respect their teachers in class. Don't be surprised if you get a phone call stating how your student was disruptive and disrespectful, because again, they copy what they observe. When adults model respectful dialogue, students learn that problems can be solved through communication rather than conflict. So, teachers, don't stand in front of those students arguing. They are watching you. Don't be surprised if you argue in front of them, if they feel comfortable arguing in front of you and disrupting your class. Mediation helps us transform those moments of tension into opportunities for understanding. So let's model listening and understanding in front of our scholars. When we return, we're going to have a quick story time and talk about one of the seven the 7 habits of highly effective people. I know you're not going to be able to wait for this. We'll be right back. You're listening to Get Life Educational Empowerment on the Awesome Radio Network. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Get Life Educational Empowerment on the Awesome Radio Network, WECU 107.5 FM and 1570 AM. I am your host, Sherida Suggs. Here at Get Life Educational Empowerment, we believe in educational abundance, strong schools, strong relationships, and strong futures. When we get it together and live in full expectancy, we don't just survive the school year, we thrive through it. Before we dive in, I want to take a moment to speak to you directly, our listeners and viewers. From my heart to yours, thank you so much for trusting this space, believing in this mission, and choosing empowerment, growth, and to get it together and live in full expectancy with us. You matter so much here. Your presence matters so much. Your views matter so much. And your voice matters so much. And I would love to hear from you. To be a guest on our show or to show your thoughts about managing conflict or any topics that you'd like to hear about, email us at the address on your screen or call our station at 252-756-2008 and leave a message if no one answers. Our email address is getlifeempowerment@gmail.com. So I want to share a story with you that a colleague of mine shared with me. She was in the middle of solving one problem in a meeting when two teachers came to her with an issue involving two students. Here's what happened. One bigger student pushed another student up against the wall. Why? Because he felt that the other student had violated his personal space by bumping into him. From this perspective, he felt disrespected, he felt violated, he felt offended. So he reacted physically. The other student, however, hadn't intended to bump into him hard at all. So he explained that he didn't mean to and that someone pushed him into him. He said that he did not mean to make the other student feel uncomfortable, but the bigger student didn't believe him at all. And because he felt wrong, he responded with aggression. My colleague took this as a teachable moment instead of a moment for disciplinary action. My colleague took this as a moment for restorative practice. So she explained to the aggressor the importance of seeking first to understand. Instead of putting his hands on another student, he could have paused, assessed the situation, and asked questions about what's going on, what happened. That would have allowed the other student to explain his side. It is never okay to put your hands on another student. When you have advocates surrounding you and willing to help you to solve the problem, rather than take matters into your own hands, especially in an aggressive manner. Whether or not he fully believed him, he could have used his words, his powerful words, like, leave me alone, don't touch me, get away from me, bruh, to assert clear boundaries without resorting to physical aggression. This story perfectly illustrates Stephen R. Covey's fifth habit in the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Seek first to understand, then be understood. Covey's work goes beyond productivity. It's about building meaningful relationships and creating spaces where collaboration and understanding thrives. Too often, in the heat of an argument or a disagreement, whether in classrooms, offices, or homes, we as human beings rush to defend ourselves or to prove that we're right. Habit 5 reminds us to listen with the intent to understand, to truly grasp the other person's perspective, concerns, and feelings before responding. Now, to grasp this does not mean that you have to agree with it. However, it does mean that you give the other party an opportunity to explain themselves. Remember, seek first to understand. Now, let's connect this to March mediation. March can be a high energy, high stakes, and yes, high tension month. Instead of letting frustrations go into March madness, we can stop to pause, breathe, and seek understanding first. Doing so empowers collaboration, fosters empathy, and transforms conflict into opportunities for growth. When we model this habit, whether with students, colleagues, or families, we shift the focus from winning the argument to building bridges and creating meaningful outcomes where everyone wins. So, here's the challenge for this month. Before reacting, before explaining, before insisting you're right, take a moment to seek first to understand. This is not just a habit. This is a strategy to turn those chaotic moments into moments of clarity, tension into teamwork, and March madness into March meaningfulness. And while mediation helps us to guide the conversation, the next step focuses on something equally important: our mindsets and our self awareness in the moment. So let's pivot from March madness to March mindfulness. Handling conflict with awareness and intent. Get life, family. Even when we believe in mediation, conflicts can still become emotional. That's where mindfulness becomes powerful. Mindfulness simply means being aware of our thoughts, our feelings, our tone, our reaction, our body language, and the impact that our words have on other people. In high stress environments like schools, it can be easy to react quickly. A rushed response, a frustrated comment, a misunderstanding that escalates simply because emotions were already high. But mindfulness reminds us to pause. First of all, don't let your emotions run high. You know that in a school environment, sometimes, and often most times, it can be stressful. But educators, you have to remember that you are the professionals. So just you as you expect your students to, you must come prepared and mindful. Before responding, ask yourselves, how am I communicating right now? What message am I sending to the other party? Is my tone inviting conversation or creating more tension? Am I escalating or de escalating a situation? And this is a message to our teachers, parents, community members, school leaders, and students. We all have to practice mindfulness, not only in the month of March, but in every month. Am I listening to understand? Or am I listening to just respond? Or am I even listening at all? Being mindful doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending that conflict doesn't exist. Instead, it means choosing to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting emotionally. In schools, mindfulness might look like a teacher taking a moment to breathe before responding to a challenging situation, a parent choosing to ask questions before accusing or assuming the worst, an administrator creating space for respectful conversation, even when issues are difficult. Mindfulness helps us to remember something important. Our response can either escalate the problem or elevate the conversation. And with Get Life, we always want to elevate and uplift, creating opportunities for solutions. When adults in schools practice mindfulness. We create environments where respect, patience, and understanding become part of the culture. But mediation and mindfulness alone are not the final goal. The true goal is what comes next, the resolution. Before we take our next break, I want to share some quick tips on handling conflict, especially in places where collaboration and teamwork are essential, like our schools, like our families and communities. And yes, I want everyone that takes part in this show and shares ideas to feel heard. So, yes, again, Jamaica Dixon, Green Central Class of 1998, I heard you clearly. The two great ideas that Jamaica submitted that we are highlighting today is first, teach, think, talk, choosing the T in conflict resolution. It's about teaching respect, thinking before you respond, and talking it out in a way that moves the conversation forward. Second, agree to disagree. Sometimes the resolution isn't about everyone thinking the same way. It's about respecting differences and finding common ground to move forward together. Both are simple, practical strategies that we can use today, tomorrow, and every day to keep relationships strong and collaboration thriving. So let's get it and let's dive a little deeper into teach, think, talk, choosing the T as a key strategy in resolving conflict among our students. This is a simple framework that can make a huge difference in building positive relationships and handling disagreements. Let's talk about the teach aspect. Remember, we are educators, we are teachers, and remember that parents are your first child's teacher. So let's teach about respect to our students. Conflict is often about differences in perspective. The first step is to model and teach respect, both for yourself and for others. This isn't about just politeness. It's about showing that every person's voice matters. In schools, this might mean modeling for students how to listen without interrupting. At home or in communities, it can mean acknowledging someone's feelings before jumping in with your own. When respect is taught, when respect is modeled, when respect is reinforced, conversations start on a positive, collaborative note instead of in a defensive tone. And as Aretha Franklin once said, and in honor of Women's History Month, RESPECT, find out what it means to me. All we're asking at Get Life Educational Empowerment is for a little respect, just a little bit. Now, let's think. Let's think before responding. When tensions rise, the natural impulse is often to react immediately, but conflict resolution requires pause and reflection. Think about your words. Think about your tone. Think about the possible impact that your response has on the other person before you speak. Ask yourself, am I responding to understand or just to defend myself? What's the goal of this conversation? How can I move this discussion forward instead of escalating it? Thinking before responding allows us to step out of a reactive mode and into intentional communication where students become the problem solvers and where solutions become possible. Now, let's talk it out. Finally, talking is where the resolution actually manifests, but it's not just any conversation, it's a purposeful conversation. It is a restorative conversation. It is a respectful dialogue. Talk with the goal of understanding, not winning. Because remember that the goal is for all of us to be winners. Share your perspective clearly and respectfully. Listen actively. Work together to find common ground. And in schools, this might look like a teacher facilitating a discussion between students. In families, it might be parents calmly expressing their concerns while also listening to their child's experience. And in communities, it could mean neighbors or teams collaborating to find solutions that benefit everyone. The power of teach, think, and talk, choosing the T. When we teach respect, think before responding, and talk it out productively, we transform conflict from a source of stress into an opportunity for openness, growth, understanding, and stronger relationships. It's simple, practical, and most importantly, it works in any setting, school, home, or community. Now, let's talk about how we can agree to disagree. How can we find common ground while respecting differences? Here is the get life truth. Conflict doesn't always have a clear winner or a perfect solution. And here is another get life truth. We're not always going to agree. And you're not always right. Not with colleagues, not with parents, not even with ourselves. And that's okay. Being mindful helps us to pivot into a possibility of understanding that the key is how we handle those differences, especially when our shared goals is the same. Student success. And that's where we all are winners and all of our students are VIPs. Respect differences. Agreeing to disagree starts with acknowledging that differences are natural. Staff members may have different teaching styles. Parents may have varying expectations, and community partners may see priorities in different ways. Respecting those differences does not mean that you have to compromise your values. It means that you listen, validate perspectives, and avoid unnecessary conflicts. Now, keep the focus on the goal, even when opinions diverge. The conversation stays productive when everyone keeps the common goal front and center. In schools, that is students' learning, student success, students' growth, students' social emotional well being. And that is also how in communities it may create safe, supportive environments by continually asking, how does this serve our shared purpose? We say aligned, even when we disagree on the details. And let's talk about number 3. Commit to collaboration, not chaos. Agreeing to disagree is not about professionalism and self control only. It's also about committing to the common goal. It's about collaboration, teamwork, not intentionally choosing to make things catastrophic. When we can disagree without causing chaos, derailing teamwork, or creating unnecessary conflict, it maintains civility. Continuing to collaborate and modeling for students and community members what respectful disagreement looks like is a positive outcome. And let's find common ground to move forward. Finally, agreeing to disagree doesn't mean leaving the conversation unresolved. It means finding the points where aligning exists and building from there, even during strong, small disagreements. It can improve relationships and foster a culture where everyone feels heard, even if they don't see eye to eye in everything. The bottom line is sometimes conflict resolution isn't about everyone thinking the same way. It's about respecting differences, focusing on shared goals, and committing to moving forward together. When we do that, we create a school, family, or community culture where disagreements are opportunities for growth, not roadblocks to success. So thanks, Jamaica. When we return, we're going to talk about how to pivot March Madness to March Mending, where everyone wins and everyone is treated as a VIP. That's right, Alana Moore. You're up. Your words of encouragement have surfaced. Resolution, restoration, and mutual respect is what we're all about here with Get Life Educational Empowerment. Stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. Welcome back to this jam-packed show. The purpose of mediation and mindfulness is ultimately mending relationships so that everyone wins. And our scholars are the real VIPs. In schools, strong relationships are the foundations in everything we do. Students succeed when teachers, families, and community members trust one another. And sometimes conflicts, when handled the right way, can actually strengthen those relationships. Mending is about restoration. It's about moving beyond the disagreement and focusing on how we rebuild trust and move forward. Mending can look like a sincere conversation where both sides feel heard, acknowledging when mistakes have been made, taking accountability for the part that we play, right or wrong, finding solutions that support students and respect everyone involved. And sometimes mending simply means choosing mutual respect even when differences remain, agreeing to disagree. Healthy school communities are not built on conflict. They're built on the presence of respect and restorative practices. When schools, families, and communities commit to mending relationships, something powerful happens. Trust grows, communication improves. We pivot from negative to positive, and everyone is a winner. The entire environment becomes more supportive for students because at the end of the day, the shared goal is the same: helping our young people to succeed. Conflicts may have happened along the way, but with mediation, mindfulness, and mending, those moments of tension can become opportunities for growth. For students, I want you to remember you have the power to pause before you react. Your words can solve problems and build understanding. You can turn frustration into conversation. You can walk away, cool down, and return ready to problem solve. And every disagreement is an opportunity to learn and grow. I want you to affirm yourselves now. Say to yourself out loud, I have the power to pause before I react. My words can solve problems and build understanding. Say to yourselves, I choose communication over conflict. I am strong enough to listen and respect people, enough to respond calmly. I can turn frustration into a freeing conversation. Every disagreement is an opportunity to learn and grow. Students, I want you to walk away knowing that you can cool down and you can come back ready to contribute to a positive classroom and school community. Say to yourself, I help create a school where peace, respect, and understanding wins. My voice matters, and I can use it in positive ways. Today, I choose mediation, not escalation. And for our families, your role is a powerful role. in the lives of your scholars. You have to remember that you set that tone. Your homes can be places where listening comes before reacting, where calm conversations replace raised voices, where accusations and assumptions don't live, where scholars learn that disagreements can lead to understanding and love. When families model patience, empathy, and respectful communication, young people learn how to do the same when they step foot outside of your homes. And here are some family affirmations. Family members, I want you to say out loud, our home is a place where listening comes before reacting. We model calm conversations and respectful problem solving in our home. We teach our scholars that disagreements can lead to understanding and love. We choose patience. We choose kindness. We choose empathy. And we choose communication. We guide our students to pause, reflect, think, and respond thoughtfully. We teach, we think, we talk, we choose the T, because together we build strong relationships through respect and honesty. Healthy communities thrive when leaders promote dialogue, fairness, and unity. When we encourage collaboration instead of confrontation in our communities, we create environments where every voice can be heard. Every voice sings and every person feels valued. Community leaders, I want you to say and believe this. I want you to take part and affirm yourselves as well. Everybody say, our leadership promotes dialogue, understanding, and unity. We recognize that healthy communities resolve conflict through communication. We support environments where every voice can be heard respectfully. We encourage collaboration instead of confrontation. We help create spaces where problems become opportunities for growth. Our example shows the young people that leadership includes patience and listening. So, today, to our students, our families, and our community members, let us remember a simple get life truth. When we choose understanding over misunderstanding, when we choose conversation over conflict, when we choose patience over reaction, we begin to transform our environment. We begin to pivot from negative to positive, from March madness to March mediation. Embracing positivity solves conflict and everyone wins. And when everyone wins, our school communities grow stronger. Our relationships become deeper. And most importantly, our students continue to shine because our students, our scholars, are the VIPs in this game. Let us pray together. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of this day and for the opportunity to gather in the spirit of learning, growth, and community. Lord, we ask for your guidance as we continue to navigate moments of tension and conflict in our schools, homes, and communities. Help us to respond with patience and understanding as well as respect, and to remember that every conversation is an opportunity to build bridges rather than walls. Grant us the wisdom to practice mediation, the calm, to embrace mindfulness, and the courage to focus on mending relationships. May our words, actions, and attitudes reflect your love and inspire collaboration, cooperation, and care. Bless our educators, our students, parents, and community members, and let every challenge we face become a chance for growth, unity, and progress. And it is in your name, Jesus, we pray. Amen. And it is so. Before we close, I want to insert a very important. Get life principle for our students and even for our staff and family members, because we too get heated sometimes. I want to talk to you about the power of simply walking away, or should I say, marching away in March. How to handle highly stressful or highly conflicted situations before they turn into something bigger. Sometimes in a disagreement, it can quickly turn into raised voices, hurt feelings, and even the possibility of a physical fight. In those moments, emotions can run high. Pride gets involved. We want to gather an audience. We want to prove something to people that ultimately don't matter or don't even care. The way we perform finds it entertaining for them. The same people that you are performing for finds it entertaining to see you hurt, and they run away, leaving you in pain or in the face of a potential consequence. But here is the important truth that we want every student to remember: the get life truth. You don't have to fight. You actually win when you march away. Many students come into my office after a fight and they say the same thing: I should have just walked away. And the truth is, you're right. Walking away is not weakness. Walking away is strength. Walking away is self control. Walking away is turning from March madness into March maturity. So, today we want to share a few simple tips that students can use to de escalate a stressful situation. Tip number one: pause before reacting. When emotions are high, your first reaction may be to respond quickly. But instead, I want you to stop, take a moment, take a deep breath. That short pause can help you think before things escalate. Tip number two: use calm words, kind words, or no words at all. Remember that a soft answer turneth away wrath. Sometimes responding with calm words like, no, it's not that serious, or no, I'm not doing this today, can slow things down. Other times, the best response is no response at all. Tip number three: create space. Simply step back, move away from the situation, and don't return. Distance help lower tension and gives everyone time to cool off. Tip number four: walk away. This is one of the most powerful choices a person can make. Walking away does not mean that you lost. It means that you won and that you are strong enough to protect your peace, protect yourself, protect your future. Tip number five: ask for help. If a situation feels like it's getting out of control, find a trusted adult. I always tell my students, number one, talk to the nearest adult that's closest to you, whether that person is your teacher or the teacher that is present. Talk to them first, then follow up always with your homeroom teacher, because that's the teacher that you see every morning and afternoon. And sometimes when it seems like nothing is being done, even though, let me strongly insert, sometimes things don't look like they're being done in front of you, because it is not a teacher's responsibility to prove to you that they're doing something immediately. Sometimes they de-escalate a situation. It's not their job to prove to you in front of everybody that they're calling that particular student out. It's their job to investigate. It's their job to seek first, to understand, then understood. We understand that sometimes students want to see immediate action. So with that being said, if you do talk to a teacher and it does not seem to you that that teacher has done anything, most times they are doing something, but you can go to the next teacher and talk to them about it. Stand beside your teacher and don't move until you express to them, I need to speak with you, please. If that is what's necessary, do that. Go to a trusted adult and ask for help. An administrator, a school counselor, a teacher. Any staff member, getting help does not make you a snitch. Getting help helps you to prevent a problem from becoming something bigger, keeps you out of trouble. Now, we want to encourage parents to speak with our students and have these conversations with them. Remind them that their safety, their futures, and their reputations are far more important than proving a point in anger. Teach them that strength is not about engaging into physical confrontation. It's about self-control. Simply put, making wise decisions and protecting their futures. It's not about gathering an audience. It's not about performance. Teach them that when emotions rise, to pause. When conflict starts, create space. And when situations feel like they might turn into a fight, use the power of walking away. Because when you walk away from conflict, you are not losing. You are winning in the best way possible. And you are the real MVPs. Choose to march away in March. Another important thing to remember is that many conflicts grow because of an audience. When people gather around, record on their phones, or encourage a situation to escalate, it can make the moments more intense. Real leadership means doing the opposite. Real leadership means helping the calm, encourage others to walk away, get an adult to help resolve the problem. Sometimes the bravest student in the crowd is the one that says, "This is not worth it. I am walking away. Let's go." Now, you may be wondering why I feel so strongly about this message. The truth is, I have seen and heard about far too many situations where someone did not choose to walk away. Instead, they chose violence. Instead, they chose to show off. Instead, they chose to gather an audience. They chose to perform. And sadly, some of those individuals are no longer here with us to tell their stories. They are no longer here to advise you to walk away. A moment of anger, a crowd cheering, a decision made in seconds can lead to consequences that last forever. But here's the important part of this message. I am here. I am here to tell you and use my voice to let every student know that walking away is the best philosophy. You don't have to prove a thing to anyone. Your life, your future, and your opportunities are far more important, far too important to risk your life. Walking away does not make you weak. Walking away makes you wise. Walking away protects your future. So if you ever find yourself in a situation that feels like it could turn into a fight, remember this message. Choose peace. Choose your future. Choose life. Choose to walk away. Choose to get it together. Choose to live in full expectancy. When students choose the power to walk away, when parents choose problem solving, when our community supports people in making positive choices, we build a safer and stronger environment for everyone, including ourselves. Remember, you don't have to fight to prove anything. Sometimes the strongest move you can make is simply walking away. March may bring moments that feel like madness. Stress can increase, expectations rise, challenges appear to be more than we can bear. But those moments do not have to define who we are, how we respond, or how we manipulate our environments. When we choose mediation, we can create space for meaningful dialogue. When we practice mindfulness, we respond with awareness and respect. When we focus on mending, we strengthen the relationships that make our schools and communities thrive. Conflict does not have to divide us. Handled with care and intention, conflicts can actually bring us closer together. So, as we move through this busy season, Remember that we all have the power to pivot from March Madness to March Mediation, turning moments of tension into opportunities for understanding, collaboration, and growth. This, friends, is the essence of Get Life. Together, we can build bridges, we can amplify positive voices. We can create futures where every student, every person is a VIP. As we celebrate Women's History Month, let us remember the countless women who paved the way by standing strong in the face of challenges, leading with courage, and choosing integrity over anger. Their examples remind us that real strength is shown not by reaching and reacting in the moments, but by responding with wisdom, patience, and dignity. Remember what Michelle Obama says in the essence of making choices that matter. When they go low, we go high. Take this with you as you walk through your day. When others try to pull you into conflict, when the crowd cheers for the wrong choice, when pride and anger rise, you choose the right road. You choose the high road. You choose peace. You choose your future. You choose dignity. You choose to walk away. So when you face a tough moment, take a lesson from history and from leaders like Michelle Obama. Lead with your values. Rise above the chaos and choose the path that honors yourself and those around you. Walking away is not giving up. It's choosing power, respect, and choosing a brighter future for yourself and for those that love you. So stay empowered, stay inspired, and always remember, get life. Because when we commit to this work together, we are not just shaping classrooms, we are shaping futures. I am Sherida Suggs, and this has been Get Life Educational and Empowerment on the Awesome Radio Network. I invite you to tune in every Tuesday from 3 to 4 as we explore real experiences for today's schools and communities. Until next time, now and forever, let's get it together. Live in full expectancy, empower education. Thank you so much for joining us today.